Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Warriors of Chaos led by Opacho facing off against the High Elves, who shall be helmed by Hobo Honkers here on Borderlow Landing. And it does look like it's going to be a Sorcerer Lord of Metal, so dropping Searing Dooms and Final Transmutation is good against High Elf character and monster blobs, so not the worst choice for sure. So breaking down the army of the Heretics. It's going to be Marauders into the Sunset with some great weapons, and for the Armor Piercing and Anti-Cavalry, it is going to be Armored Trolls, which aren't bad. You know, outside of Sisters of Avalorn, not a lot of the High Elf shooting gets through 110 armor super effectively, but if they do bring that, you know, the Trolls can pay the Troll Toll. Now, character core here, it is going to be a Exalted Hero on a Chariot, as well as a Sorcerer Lord of Metal with the mainstay spells, Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom, with Tormentor Sword for a little bit of utility as well. One of the better elements about the Sorcerer Lords is, of course, the fact that they have the Tormentor Sword. Hell Cannon is God tier here, and I always recommend bringing the ROR simply because it has more ammunition. It's just better. But, you know, if you're a little bit tight on money, I can understand bringing this one. But High Elves don't really have an effective answer against the Hell Cannon. If you adequately defend it using Marauder Horsemen against the flying monsters, you know, Hellstriders against their cav, and then, you know, obviously against their characters, you can use your characters. It can just get a ton of value over the course of the game and really eliminate a lot of high-value High Elf targets. So for the High Elves and Hobo Honkers, it is going to be Rangers up in the front, so he's got two of those. Rangers are very good against Marauders, but aside from that, they suffer against some more elite Chaos Infantry, but, you know, most of the time, Chaos players just spam out Marauders, so you'll be all right. Spearmen, Lothern Sea Guard, they can still wear down Trolls, it just takes quite a bit longer. We do have a Firecaster as well, and we know that Hobo really likes to use the Piercing Bolts of Burning. Pretty unique, actually. It can do really good damage. It takes like 10 minutes to go off when you cast it, but if it does go off and nails its target, it does a shitload of damage. So he's got Burning Head as well as that. And if you're going to be using a non-healing lore, you want a character that can heal itself. So that's going to be TYRION. And TYRION's going kind of balls deep already. Actually chasing down the Exalted Hero, getting a lot of HP damage, but he's going to want to retreat before they're able to retaliate. Although Tormentor Sword maybe locks him down here. I don't know if the Chaos player is going to do that. Oh, he's baiting a Piercing Bolts of Burning. Okay, let's see what kind of damage this does. We do see Plague of Rust activated, but TYRION has Feint and Riposte, literally rocking 120 melee defense, and the Searing Bolts come down. It actually does some pretty damn good damage against those Trolls. So the Troll Toll was paid, and it is fire damage, so negative 10 leadership, and they are going to be piercing out. So really good bait there from TYRION, luring in the Trolls. Granted, they can probably heal through most of that if they just play very conservatively. So in the back, the Hell Cannon is going to be shooting into the Lothern Sea Guard, Forsaken and Hellstriders being called out. And for the High Elves, we do have some Lothern Sea Guard, Storm Riders on the back objective, and for the most part, Hobo saving. He's probably saving up for the Fireborn, or maybe a Phoenix or something elite like that. But Hell Cannon shooting away as the Elven Archers now going to be unleashing salvos of fire into the Trolls down here. So Armored Chaos Trolls going to be getting the business a little bit, but not too bad. The 110 armor certainly serving quite well. Front line is going to be Spearmen versus Marauders. Bit of a wet noodle contest. Spearmen will hold for like 45 minutes there, and the other side Spearmen are holding as well, as we do see the Sunfang from TYRION going down as one unit of Rangers gets absolutely punished over here. So the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, the Marauders, and the Chariot Exalted Hero are going to be very excellent as that guy does get Shadow Realmed right there. Man, this game looks so good. Like, just looking at those little details in the fights, it's so freaking cool. Forsaken are pretty awesome here. They will rip apart Spearmen pretty effectively with their high damage, and they're also really a bit of a soft counter against Rangers. Rangers only have 30 armor, so the 60 plus weapon strength of the Forsaken really shines here. In the back, we do see the Hellstriders just kind of guarding the backfield, making sure nothing gets to the Hell Cannon, but now we're going to be seeing another Burning Head spell, as Chaos kind of equalizes the game a little bit, right? They've had some good engagements, but these Forsaken are going to get deleted from the game, basically. I love seeing that. It's really fun. And yeah, they lose about half HP from, I don't think that was an overcasted version. And in response, Chaos going to be using its own sorcery. And that's a beautiful cast by our Chaos player, Opacho there. Beautiful one. He nails TYRION, he nails the Firecaster, he hits some frontline infantry, and does break open the lines, which means the Forsaken, if they want to, can now run back to the Lothern Sea Guard and get into any of the Archer units, which we'll see how the micro is on those bad boys. Exalted Hero got smashed up a little bit. I think he might have gotten caught in that Final Transmutation. I'm not sure. Or maybe he was just fighting amongst spears for a while. But he's a kind of a good disruptive piece here. Definitely not bad. There's going to be a Burning Head activated. So the Mage of the High Elves putting in a lot of work this game. Burning Head comes cooking on through and just very conveniently skipping the Elves. So good control by the Mage there. Forsaken tried to get into the secondary, but TYRION was able to intercept them. Crossfire coming in from the Lothern Sea Guard here, very good. And a Searing Doom is going to be activated from our Chaos Sorcerer on top of the Lothern Sea Guard, while the big Giga Chad Fireborn going to be screaming around the flanks. Now, Fireborn will steamroll Hellstriders, but if you get like Chaos Trolls stacked on top of Hellstriders with a little bit of support, maybe, and obviously you want to switch the Hell Cannon onto the Fireborn. But yeah, Fireborn are going to delete these guys. They're going to delete their source code, but Plague of Rust actually really clutch. That's going to make this fight way better for Chaos here, as we do see the Fireborn down to 60 armor. Hellstriders can actually do some work now, and the Sorcerer is also going to be getting in. So yeah, with the magic support, maybe the Fireborn end up losing this grind. So very well played. That was a great use of Plague of Rust here from Opacho. So pulling back are the Fireborn, ladies and gentlemen. And on the other side, Chaos Armored Trolls still fighting away, and the Warriors of Chaos seeming to be in a pretty good shape on the objective, having gotten some really devastating magic. Catching an elite carry piece out like that is super good. And yeah, Hellstrider's really a punishing unit. If they start to defeat you and you run from them, it's only going to get worse here. As you retreat and lose model. Searing Doom activated. Not a bad cast. A good attempt, but it didn't quite hit home on those Storm Riders. But the Storm Riders are now in here, and remember, these are Lothern Seaguard. They're Spearman units with pretty good stats, so they'll be really good at prison shanking down the Hellstrider units. Hellstrider's probably going to want to retreat as the Chaos Sorcerer Lord tries to help his Hellstriders there, but the Fireborn are completely defeated. Looking at this on objective number 2, we do see more and more Forsaken coming up. Searing Doom activated. Not Searing Doom, the Burning Bolts from the Mage of Fire. I love that tech from Hobo. It's really fun, actually. Brings the trolls down, does like half HP. I don't know if he's overcasting it. Let's see. So it costs 10 Winds of Magic. If that is only 10 Winds of Magic and he's not overcasting it, I'd have to check. Then that's a pretty good deal. You know, nuking down a monstrous infantry unit like that, but also having good utility against other things, it ain't bad. So Tyrion's going to have his work cut out for him. I mean, the one thing that the High Elves do have, despite being pretty behind on value, is that Tyrion is a carry character. Like, he's going to be able to be functional and effective the entire game, whereas the Sorcerer Lord of Chaos is going to kind of fall off a little bit when the Winds of Magic situation diminishes. Armored Chaos Trolls battling White Lines of Krace over here. Tyrion, is he going to be moving back into fight? Maybe so. More Chaos Trolls, more Hellstriders, all the classic elements that the Warriors of Chaos used to love. In this matchup, yeah, the Hell Cannon's really good. The Armored Chaos Trolls are really nice. I think another piece that's quite exceptional against the Elves, too, is the Blood Beasts are good, but I think the Armored Trolls might actually be better, simply because of the fat armor against the Elven shooting and Elven spears, but Blood Beasts are a really menacing unit. They're very beastly. Sunfang on the Forsaken. It does better damage against light armor, so it's not going to like annihilate the Forsaken, but it tickles them a little bit. Yeah, you can see the armor of the Forsaken really holding firm there, but it's excellent at clearing out Marauder equivalents. Piercing Bolt's going to be down here. This is going to be a god tier cast from Hobo. It's going to hit several units. That looks like it might have been an overcasted one, and there you go. Very nice. Melting the Marauders, melting the Trolls, and also punishing the Forsaken there as well. Although one of the Marauder units is able to endure. So looking at the points, we do see a potential triple cap in play. On the backside objective, Hellstriders with Slanesh being the carry piece of the Warriors of Chaos. They are able to hold back the Silver Helms with the support. That combo is really cool, because what I like about what Opacho is doing is he's utilizing one of the strongest units in the roster and making it even stronger with his magic. Using the Plague of Rust. Really nice. Like lowering these units down and addressing the one weakness of the Hellstrider, which is its lack of armor piercing, right? Tyrion and the Fire Mage trying to wrestle over on the middle. Silver Helms battling Marauders with Great Weapons and the remnants of the Hellstriders. Not terribly cost effective. Now we see a triple cap. I don't know how the High Elves are going to be able to come back from this one. That is for sure. Here we do have the Chaos Trolls, which is grinding through the infantry. And really, I mean, they don't have much left. There are some Lothern Seaguard in the middle, but they're being taken down by chaff infantry. So the Marauders with Great Weapons for sure are just going to beat them down here. They got their big old beaten sticks. Mage are going to be coming in trying to Gandalf this shit, but not going to happen. Oh, actually, they do end up breaking. Holy shit. I didn't think they would break that easy, but yeah, I guess it is a charge from a heroic unit. I will eat my words. Marauders moving up. Blood Beasts being called in. Blood Beasts of Khorne, like I said, pretty good in this matchup. The backside, Silver Helms battling a bunch of Hellstriders with the Plague of Rust activated. Definitely going to be losing that fight. And this is how Hobo needs to get back in the game. He's going to need to get a pick on this Chaos Sorcerer and, something really decisive that's going to debuff the entire enemy army. And, the Sorcerer is much slower. Tyrion rides an Elven Steed, which is much faster than the mutated Chaos Horses. And, yeah, he's a great hunter character. We do see at -11 leadership. And he is broken now. He's at 600 HP, 100 HP. And, God, talk about an assassin character, right? Tyrion really able to get it done. Just slaying that Chaos Sorcerer, man. No mercy. But can they get it back, man? I don't know. That's a pretty big deficit on points. If Chaos just, he's got all 3 objectives, although it looks like he's going to get that objective back. We do see another Piercing Bolts going down. And, like I said, Tyrion is a carry character. Hell Cannon going to be trying to snipe him. Now, Blood Beast will be good against Tyrion, for sure. They have good armor piercing, and so will the Trolls. But the Trolls are a little bit weaker because of his fire damage, but yeah, that's a lot of monstrous infantry. More Hellstriders going to be intercepting as Silver Helms and Illyrian Reavers move up. Couple Spearmen in the back. Back objective going to be taken. Fire Mage can provide 3 capture weight over here as well if it wants to. So very much an option. And what do we got here? All right, Reavers moving in. Silver Helms, not a favorable fight for the Warriors, or for the Warriors of the Elves. I was about to say Warriors, guys, but for the Elves. Because the Trolls and the Blood Beasts are just going to dominate this fight. With Hellstriders in there too, applying a little bit of poison utility. That's going to be really bad. I mean, maybe Tyrion can break the troll leadership. We'll have to see. Yeah, the armored trolls, I guess the only way this goes well for the elves is if the leadership... Yeah, you know what? That's actually a thing, right? Because the sorcerer's dead. So the armored chaos trolls are just dog shit leadership right now. So they could totally get routed here. This would be an epic comeback from Hobo Honkers. That is for damn sure. He commits like several thousand gold worth. But yeah, the leadership variable, I didn't really consider that. So this is going to be brutal. This is going to do a lot of damage, right? The overcasted piercing bolts. It does do some friendly fire damage. But chaos trolls being lit on fire, not something they had on their bingo cards, right? So Tyrion is leading a renaissance here. And we do see the exalted hero being called back out. Losing that chaos sorcerer could have been a bit of a throw. Blood beasts are going to run back here. And definitely want to stack up with infantry. Yeah, they definitely want to. So the magic was able to turn the tide of that fight that otherwise could have been a little bit dodgy. And some spears did arrive in the later quarters of that fight as well, which could have turned the tide of the fight too with their little poking damage. Marauders on the backside objective. We do see the Warriors of Chaos reaching 1,000 points right now, so they are getting pretty close to the victory condition. Forsaken can definitely bum rush the Lothern Seaguard if they want to. Sunfang activated. Really, really nice usage of these abilities. And Hobo's definitely clawing this game back. He's just getting incremental value where he can. And Swordmasters of Hoeth, okay, that's kind of badass, man. He really plays Elves in a very cool way. The Swordmasters, what will they be good against here? Marauders, pretty terrible against most of the monster's infantry, very weak against the heavy artillery. The Hell Cannon definitely needs to switch, although it's about out of ammunition as well. The Exalted Hero on the Chariot should be pretty good against these guys, and good play here by Opacho, getting the Blood Beast onto the thing that they essentially counter, and the Marauders with great weapons being taken down by Tyrion. The leadership penalty of the Chaos Sorcerer having died, really, really starting to show through in this army here. But the Armored Trolls have returned, and here we do see the Swordmasters taking a hell of a lot of damage. Hell Cannon is out of ammunition, so at this point you would want to unsummon it. Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes are a really good choice here. They're going to be quite excellent against a lot of these things. Just weak against Lothern Seaguard, but everything else they're relatively viable against. On the backside, Hellstrider is able to grab this, and they do rout off these units, and suddenly it's like, that's the thing, man. Having those fast Slanesh Cav is like such a boon for the roster. That's going to be a burning head there. Could do some good damage if they remain blobbed up like that, and they kind of do get cooked a little bit. Rangers moving on in, and the Exalted Hero, if they get this objective, that's going to be a disaster for the Elves. Elves are actually wrestling the middle objective. Tyrion's kind of just bullying everything, and he hasn't even gotten his heal yet, so Tyrion can still get a huge heal. On the backside, we do see Elven Rangers waiting in the woods to ambush and defeat those Marauders. Marauders will 100% lose that combat. And yeah, Hobo's back in the game. It looks like he's kind of taken things over, to be completely honest. There, the Mage of Fire does get routed. Exalted Sorcerer doing very good. Hellstriders will run over these Rangers with the Chariot support. The Exalted Hero in the Chariot's a really good anti-infantry character. Every time he charges through, it's going to be big HP damage, and yeah, you can see it is able to diminish those Rangers. Man, what tenacious play, though. Like, a couple minutes ago in the game, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, this game's probably over. It looks really bad for the High Elves, but then the Lord dies for the Warriors of Chaos, and a bunch of cascading, downfalls begin happening for the army. Forsaken, really good. They're going to be able to fend off the Rangers, and out here, we do see this objective flipping to Chaos. So Chaos using its S-tier mobility here, these Hellstriders to clean that one off, and that's going to be really, really big. So that does get them back on the board here. Marauder Horsemen scooting on in. Blood Beasts do proc the heal, so Tyrion does get his heal, so he's healed up pretty heavily now. So the value difference you see now is non-existent. Basically, the Elves are probably even ahead on value with Tyrion getting that fat heal, or very, very even or equal. Obviously, the value tracker is pretty terrible. It doesn't track a lot of things. It's just straight up buggy. It's still better than nothing and gives you a bit of an inkling, but it's not the best. All right, there's a tree and just spasming out right there. It's kind of been a perpetual thing on this map. Spearmen, though, holding valiantly. Tyrion on the other side, going after the Blood Beasts of Khorne and methodically killing those units. Is Chaos going to be calling its Lord back in? It is. So the Chaos Sorcerer has been resurrected by the Dark Gods, while we see the Fireborn coming over to the far side objective. So that's one way to send a message that this objective is mine. I'm going to send the best elite cav, one of the best elite cav units in the game. I think that Royal Griffites are better simply because they have the glorious charge ability. But yeah, Fireborn are also nice. And I really like monstrous cav that have a lower model count because it's harder to kill the models and remove the DPS, whereas like Fireborn have a lot more models. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, who is better between those two units? It probably has to be the Demis, right? I don't know. Fireborn are pretty mean, though. They do have the fat Fizz res, but the Demis do cause terror. Yeah, no, the Demogryphs are just better. They cause terror, and they do also have the glorious charge ability, which is super cracked. So Final Transmutation activated on Tyrion, as Tyrion is just showing who is the boss. He's hunting down the Exalted Hero and really, really putting the work in. On the back objective, Warriors of Chaos are cackling pretty good. We do have the Marauders as well as the Rangers gathering there, and I think that the comeback attempt from the High Elves maybe has been thwarted. I just don't know if they're going to have enough time. Swordmasters of Hoeth, normally terrible against Monstrous Infantry, but their stat line's still good enough that they're able to put up a fight, which is very, very cool. Sunfang activated here. Objective owned by the High Elves. Sunfang very, very good, and that Exalted Hero is getting killed. Tyrion is going pretty Super Saiyan this game. He's just a casual 4,000 value, hunting down these characters. And yeah, that guy's sitting at 500 HP. He is going to get routed off and hunted for sure. Will the High Elves stabilize this? We do have the heavy shot cav coming in. On the backside, High Elves did get that objective back, and the Warriors of Chaos do flip it, which is going to seal the deal, because it's basically impossible for them to get this back objective. We do see some cavalry coming over, but with Hellstrider shutting that down, this game is basically impossible to be won for the forces of the High Elves. So really fun match, honestly. Really dominant early game from Chaos, but good scrappy micro comeback from Hobo with TYRION and some of the other magic usage he was able to get. So that was a great match between these two champions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one as much as I did. And yes, I will look at value. 3,700 from TYRION, 3,200 from the Mage. So the High Elf army really didn't perform well, it looks like. Like, most of the value was from these two characters. Fireborn didn't get a chance to really shine. There was a Phoenix. Swordmasters, yeah, they did all right, but nothing too crazy. And for Opacho's army, Hell Cannon, solid, used all of its ammunition. Armored Trolls kind of got bullied a little bit. Exalted Hero was summoned twice, so take that with a grain of salt. Chaos Sorcerer Lord got some nice value, but really the Hellstriders are big beast mode, and 1337 value on the old Blood Beast. I don't hate it. All right, guys, GG, well played. We'll see you around, and that is it for tonight.